This is the Frugal Gardener. For over 7 years now, I've been posting videos on YouTube encouraging people to start a small garden. Even did a series, one pot series, to get people to start slow. And my main goal beyond that is to help people to save money while they were gardening. And I hope that I've been able to get that across and get people to do that. Well, now, all these years later and 100 and some videos later, I was talking to my daughter, and the question becomes, what happened to those people who did take a pot or two pots or start a small garden and decide they wanted something larger? Well, I decided I'm going to do something that I've never done before. And I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but we're going to give it a shot. What you're looking at is my garden at its worst. This is the equivalent of having friends or relatives show up at your house unannounced, and the house is a mess, and you're kind of embarrassed because you wanted to clean up before they got there. Well, that's not the way gardening works. This is spring. As a matter of fact, it is the first day of spring, and what I've decided to do is take you guys on my journey from the first day of spring until the first day of fall. So, in addition to my regular videos, I'm going to post at least twice a week, hopefully more, everything that I do, or pretty much everything that I do in this garden, so that you can see from now at its worst until planting and harvest time. To give you an example, this is my mini greenhouse. It is spring. It's time for this to come down. That's compost that is not quite ready. I'm going to have to work on that. It's difficult for me to turn that compost because of this roof here. That has to come down. So, hopefully, this is a good idea. Hopefully you guys won't be bored, and hopefully you'll learn something. Basically, what's going to happen today is I'm going to show you around the garden, and like I said, it's not pretty. This footage is going to be raw. It's going to be uncut, and it's not going to have any music. It's not going to have very much of anything except for what you see here. This is my new workstation that I am so happy to get after all these years. This area here, if you're familiar with my channel, I had these 4 pots. There's 3 here now, 1 behind me, set up across here, and I put a trellis where I'm going to take this down, put it all back up, and I'm going to grow back in these pots again this year. This, like I said, is a lifesaver. This mess over here has to be done. The first thing I'm going to have to do, well, maybe not the first, but one of the things I'm going to have to do is to repot pretty much everything. My original garden was not in the soil. Pretty much everything I had was in containers. And so every year, I don't take all this out, but I'll take a good portion of this out. All this has got to be cleaned up. So when I say to you guys, it's a mess, it is a mess. This has to be dealt with Looks like somebody put my trash can up here after they ran over it. That's got to be moved out. Over here, my garden is actually not a garden. It's actually several gardens. This is the one I'm probably most proud of. This is my raised crate island garden. It cost me exactly 10 bucks. That's for this material here. That's all I spent. Now going down to here, this is a pain in my behind because I have covered this in an effort to kill this grass. Tried to take a shortcut last year when I used this. I grew potatoes in here. I had some success, but not as much success as I would have hoped. So I'm going to cover this for about 6 weeks, kill this grass, if I can keep it freaking covered, because, well, it's kind of a long story. The bottom line is there's a lot of wind that comes through here now that didn't used to come through here. So when the wind picks up, you see what happens. This is the second time I've covered this. I may end up just ripping the grass out and then covering it again. But this again is what I explained to you guys, is what I go through when I garden. This over here, this was the trellis I put up to grow cherry tomatoes. The problem is that siding on the back there attracts heat. It's aluminum siding, and it makes, well, I'm not sure if it's aluminum, whatever it is, it causes that wall to heat up. And that's not good for when you're trying to grow things and it's already hot outside. This is my compost bin, which has to be worked on. All of these things, if you stick with me this spring, this summer, you're going to be familiar with, because I'm going to be out here every day. Even though I may not post every day, I'm going to be out here to show you guys what I do, how I maintain my garden. This is bothering me, so I'm going to take it out. I usually have this filled with plants. That's going to be filled again once I get around to it. But the first order of business is going to be to plant some starters and to get this soil ready. So anyway, that's my goal. I'm a little nervous about this because I haven't done it before. I just usually show you guys quick videos, short videos. But for now, we're going to go through the whole spring and the entire summer. Hope you guys stick with me, and I hope you also subscribe. So that's it for now. I'm the Frugal Gardener, and as always, when you grow your own food, you'll always know where it comes from. Catch you later.